running towards him on the ground, and he got shipped off with a snobby attitude from J and W, all of them, and that he's going to do this and do that, but have not complied with anything. Like I said, our city manager went around there, and public works and everything else. Everybody knows about the situation. I brought it to their attention, and so, but things are still the same. Something has to need to be done.
Tommy, I will be there tomorrow to verify and take pictures myself.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Anything further, Mr. Jones?
I'm good.
All right.
We'll move on to item 6 then.
6 is mine.
Yes, sir.
I'll let Jason Furry come up first. He's got someone he needs to introduce as part of mine. And let him do what he needs to do.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Sessions. I want to go on the record for Ms. Marshall because she always fusses at me that I don't introduce myself. So, Jason Furry, former Parks and Recreation Director. But yes, I'm here. Appreciate the reappointment of Ms. Harp. She's been on the Live Oak Suwannee County Recreation Board for probably nearly 30 years and secretary, and does a great job on the fair board, very involved in the community and has her finger on what's going on, and is a great board member, so thank you for that. But wanted to introduce Alden Rosner. He was just hired on by that board as the next Parks and Recreation Director, so see y'all later. But no, I'll still be involved, and he's been with us for a couple of years now. Again, it's his second stint. He was with us for 6 years, a few years back, and has come back, doing a great job, already working with JL and Miss Joanne on your city projects at Heritage Park and the trail. So just wanted to introduce him. I don't know if he wants to say anything or if you have any questions for him. But
I think you should.
I hope you give him that hard time like you're getting me. So anyway, thank you guys. All yours.
Thank you guys. Look forward to
Make sure
continuing
you
to
introduce yourself.
work. Alden Rosner, now Parks and Rec Director. After he kicked himself to the curb, I guess. So, look forward just to continue to work with the city and all that we do to try to make the city a great place to live. Thank you guys.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sessions.
All right, the next discussion is possible council action. There's a possibility we'd like to lease some property for public works. It's the old Dodge dealership down there on 90. It's not the entire Mott deal. It's just the Dodge part. We think we can move the public works down there and have a little bit more room to do things. And then if possible, if we do that, we've always had, or before I got here, had a plan for Heritage Park along Haines Street right there to refurbish it and make it business-like and have food trucks and events and things like that. So if we move public works, that'll free up the old waterworks, the public works building, and put it back on the tax roll. And somebody would come on and buy it, and then the green building that's there right now would probably turn into public restrooms and things for the park in that part of town. So I'm just asking if you think we should move forward and looking into this lease opportunity to move public works.
All right, you've heard from Mr. Sessions. It'll be the pleasure of the council.
I'll have a motion to move forward and look into it.
Have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so now we have a motion and a second, so now discussion, questions, comments.
Of course, I have questions. So you're talking about leasing the property on 9. How much would this cost?
It would keep it on the tax roll and be about $5,000 a month, which is what Waltz was actually leasing it for prior to that.
Now, that piece of property is a prime piece of property on a highly visible stretch of 90. That piece of property I would say probably it's highly sought after, probably by someone who may want to buy it. And my question becomes, have you looked at any other place to move Public Works to, other than that piece of property?
Really, there's no real other building that large for us to move all of Public Works for the amount of vehicles and the storage we would actually have that we don't now for millings and things like that, and for parts in the back. It would actually be inside the property versus outside in the rain. And a lot of the plumbing stuff's just outside all the time inside the fence. So I think we would have a chance to clean up Duval Street and make it look a lot better, and then move it over there and put a fence around it and protect it all.
Have you looked at the industrial park on Gold Kids Boulevard?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a building there, there's some vacant property there as well that would seem more feasible for public works than on the main street, a main thoroughfare of the city. I'm just thinking that it's a piece of property that really, a business could buy and offer more to the citizens of Live Oak, other than taking that piece of property and using it for public works. It's something that maybe that's not so feasible for that. And also too, could we look at something in the county, or does everything have to be here in the
I'm
city?
not gonna move Public Works into the county. I'm not gonna do that. So we have to look for something in the city. And I'd be more than happy to look at Industrial Boulevard over there. I just don't think anything's big enough over there. We actually had the owner come to us, and which we had been looking at it anyway, knowing they were going to close. It was kind of weird. JL and I rode by it a few times and looked at how big the property is, and it seemed like a great thing to keep that property on the tax roll, so that we're still continuing to get money, because it was mentioned earlier that we don't fix anything. Well, if we don't have things on the tax roll, we don't fix anything. So by keeping it on the tax roll and selling something that we don't have on the tax roll and putting it back on the tax roll, I thought would be a benefit to the city. Because that part of Duval, I think's pretty good property also, as far as the major thoroughfares in town. So that was my reasoning behind it. That's why I want to have the discussion.
But I think, for me, that maybe some other places should be looked at other than just one place. Bring something else to the table if we really want to move Public Works. Bring something else to the table. Give us some options other than just one place.
All right, I'll look at something in the meantime, and by the 27th, the next meeting, I'll have some other options for you.
Now, you have a motion and a
Yeah, I was
second.
about to
so
say,
you have to
sir.
resolve that, you have to resolve that motion.
Point of order.
Unless the motion and the second are
Well,
modified to table.
I'll retract that about the next meeting and see how the vote goes first.
Well, didn't we, somebody said for you to look into it? Was that you?
Yeah, we have a motion and a second for the item 6A that's on the agenda, so we have.
Right, yeah, I know. But
Apparently you don't.
I'm going back to the motion.
Back to what was already
The
said.
motion is simply to further explore that one piece of property, bring back more information. to the
Right.
council.
That's
the
what
way I
I'm,
understand it.
that's what I'm saying about what Mr. Albert said, about looking to it.
Right.
Yeah, so,
The motion is not a commitment to enter into the lease. as I
right, right,
Just explore options.
correct.
Is there any further discussion about this? We'll do a roll call vote. Crawford? Yes.
I say yes.
Yes, just looking into it.
Yes,
Yes. All right. So, council has permitted you to move forward. So we'll look forward into more information on that lease there.
And I'll come back on 27th with more options.
All right, perfect. All right, item B.
All right, resolution 2025-13.
City Council Resolution number 2025-13, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, declaring certain personal property owned by the city to be either surplus to its needs and sold at a publicly noticed sale or determined to be obsolete, not serviceable, or beyond economic repair, appropriately discarded, providing for the authorization to remove such surplus property when sold or disposed of from the fixed assets of the city, and providing for an effective date.
All right, you've heard the resolution read into the record. Will be the pleasure of the council.
I make a motion that we, on resolution 2025-13, that we declare this property as surplus and put it up to rest.
All right, we got a motion? I'll second. And a second discussion. All right, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution 2025-13 approved. We're on to item C.
All right, we need to do possible council action to award a bid, Pt2 2025 Heritage Park and Gardens for the roof replacement. We got quite a bit of damage during all these storms, and we need to repair it before it's bad. So we need to go out for a bid.
All right.
The bid results.
It is here.
Yeah. So bid results, the low bid was $170,494. At this point, FEMA has not fulfilled us our money yet. The states says we're going to have some money. Joanne, you want to explain some more of this? And while she's coming up, the insurance company has given us a damage estimate, but they failed to look at the asbestos tiles and all of the ceiling, which really raises the price of getting rid of the tile. So we're going back to the insurance company to have them reconsider that, because you can't just take asbestos tiles anywhere and put them in a landfill. It costs a lot of money.
Right, the
Kelly,
insurance,
introduce yourself for record, please.
I'm so sorry. Good evening, Joanne Luther, Finance Director. The insurance company did value the damage at only like $54,000. And so we knew we'd have to go out for bid even for a repair. As JL visited the location, it's the mansion, and with FEMA, he visited it. And it's a cement roof with asbestos tiles. They cannot just repair a small section with those tiles. We need to have the complete re-roof. It's older anyway and in need of re-roofing. So we put it out to bid. You see the bids came back. Your lowest is at least $170,000. So to fund this, we have asked the insurance company, the deductible is $68,000, but if they come up over that deductible, they will pay some. If they don't, there isn't insurance money, but FEMA will pick up a certain amount, and the Friends have, FEMA will do 75% and the state does 12.5% for FEMA claims. And the Friends have agreed to pick up $8,000, which is what is
just for the
estimated.
record, identify who the Friends are.
Friends of Heritage Park and Gardens, who lease the park and run it for the city, but it is our asset. But they have committed, to help with that repair.
And what was the amount they committed?
They committed like $8,000. That was the estimate for the participation. So if you award this bid, we are asking that the city commit to utilizing infrastructure funds for the balance. At this moment, it's estimated at like $106,000 of infrastructure funds that you would be committing. The other option is to not award the bid and then figure out how you're going to get the building repaired and,
So,
you know, put
just
it.
sort of my clarification, and maybe some others here as well. You said that FEMA would reimburse 75%?
They will
State
reimburse
12.5.
75% of the estimated damage that they come up to from the storm, which would be a repair. And a repair is really not possible with the cement roof and the asbestos tile. I don't know what they're setting their amount to. They normally will do the deductible of the insurance company. So they would go maybe up to the 68,000. But it depends on what they calculate the damages as. It's not a solid number. I'm still working. We have received a good bit of FEMA reimbursements, not a whole lot from the 3 storms. We've gotten, you know, some from the first 2. So I did want to share with you that is moving along, but it is, you know, it's a process. It's a process.
Understand. Yes, ma'am. Anything further to add, Mr. Chairman, before we send it to the council? All right, if you'll stay here just for questions.
No problem.
All right, so, after hearing from Ms. Joanne and Mr. Sessions, what would be the pleasure of the council? Sorry. So we would need a motion, for perhaps approval or, recommendation to the city council to award the contract to O'Neill Roofing Company with the responsible bid of $170,494.
I'll offer that motion.
So we have a motion,
I'll second.
a second, now discussion, questions?
And so that's $106,000 that's coming from infrastructure that will pay for that roof. And we're talking about infrastructure is what takes care of our roads, takes care of our pipes, takes care of the things that we need to get from one place to another. That we can't get our roads fixed, we can't get anything, when it comes down to asking for repair, we don't have the money, but we do have the money for it to take over and to fix this roof. Now, I don't want anybody to go out of here thinking that I do not like Harris Park. I really come to appreciate this, but I also, too, think about the roads that we drive on. Think about the pipes that are breaking. Think about those particular things that we need as a city. So I take, I'm a little bit put off by taking money from infrastructure to fix this roof.
Well,
So-
it does qualify as a valid expense with those funds, but I understand that you as a council have to set your choices of where those funds get spent. But that's why I wanted to make sure that we, you know, brought the whole picture to you. We couldn't move forward with anything on this until we put out a bid, because we didn't know what the cost would be. So we put the bid out that would give us that value. Will it change? Yeah, everything seems to. But the insurance company's estimate clearly, you know, maybe they will adjust it. But I didn't want to not share with you everything. And that's why it's being brought to you.
This is something we can table until maybe insurance comes back and reevaluates.
You certainly can.
Another option as well, is there any way that CRA could pick up some of this as well?
I would have to say, it's possible they could amend their budget to include, you know, participation in this, or it could be tabled and then rebids, and it could be funded in next year's,
Once we have a
you know,
better
CRA
idea.
budget. Yes, it's all options.
Yeah, it sounds like a huge number.
Yes, I agree.
Especially out of infrastructure, and it sounds like the city has the same insurance on the roof that apparently I have on my own personal.
Yes, you're not wrong. That deductible on a hurricane, yep.
All right, so we do have a motion and a second, so we have to either amend that motion in second. Mr. Jeffrey, you started, you had the motion, so we can either amend it, or we can, does it need to be amended, or can we table it? table it.
You can amend the motion to table it until you get additional figures on the funding of it. And then the second would need to agree to the amendment, and then you can vote on it that way.
Mr. Jefferson. It's really not.
Yeah, well, to me it might be.
Yeah, only to you.
Oh, there you go. But anyway, that's the balls in my court. I'll make a motion to amend and to table this for further discussion.
Who had a second?
I'll second. Okay, any discussion or comments or questions concerning the amended motion?
Ms. Joanna?
All right, hearing none, all in favor? Aye, opposed, like sign.
That removes item D.
That will
Mr.
remove
President.
item D, yes, sir. All right, item E.
So discussion of possible council action resolution 2025-18.
City Council Resolution number 2025-18, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of sewer repair reserve funds, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
All right, you've heard the resolution read into record. Will be the pleasure of the council.
Do you want this explained?
Well, we need, after, let's get it on the table as a resolution
Okay. Yeah, once you get on
and
the
an actual motion, then we can talk about it.
I make a motion. Okay. Make a motion for resolution 2025-18, authorizing the appropriation of sewer repair reserve funds.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Now discussion.
That's the sanitary fund that we're talking about.
I'll let Joanne explain.
Yield to Ms. Joanne again. Please state your name again for the record.
Joanne Luther, Finance Director. So the sewer repair assessment is a separate item on utility bills. And it started before the SSES loans were taken on. The project SSES, which was sleeving of the sewer lines, and I'm remembering like 70 to 80% of the mains were repaired or sleeved back in 2008 to